So I didn't really have a before Jesus in my life. I grew up going to church, and everything just made sense to me. So I gave my life to Christ when I was 5 or 6. I was 14. It was my church's winter retreat, and at the event there was this speaker, Don Stewart, who was this well-spoken apologist, and through that he really just explained what the gospel was. And I think that's when I really it clicked for me what Jesus did for us, just in how important the crucifixion was, especially that first night when I realized this is the kind of person that God wants me to be, and I'm not going in that direction. One of the biggest differences that getting serious about Christ has done for me is just how much of a foundation God is in my life, and just how much I needed to lean on that. After that trip, actually, I went through a few years of some really hard relational problems with friends and people that I was around. I didn't really have a group of friends outside of church until my junior year of high school. Just having that constant rock that kept me out of a lot of potentially hard things like depression, suicide, things like that, and just really being a firm foundation for me to stand on. The number one thing Challenge has really done for me is really break me out of my anxieties. I have a lot, and when I joined Challenge, when I first came into Challenge, pretty much everything I did was based in anxiety to keep myself out of anxiety. I started meeting with David Clark and really started breaking down a lot of boundaries through our time. We started making advances in this during the fall outreach. 2 weeks before we started, I was just panicking every night. I couldn't get any sleep until I read Hebrews 12:1, and when it talked about we throw away everything that entangles us, I realized just that's what anxiety was doing in my life. And so I promised to God that, throughout this outreach, if you push me to do something, or one of the leaders tell me to do something, I'm going to do it. And through that process, God really pushed me in a way that, while I still struggle with them, they don't have the hold on my life that they did a year ago. For the first time really in my life, I feel free to do what God wants me to do, despite maybe being anxious about it.